Hello and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim on Nyxus Gaming. We are here for another little Nyxus guide, and today we're going to be treasure hunting. We are going to be going after all of the treasure maps here in the game, and I want to note something about these. I originally spawned them all into my inventory because I actually thought that these were all just random loot and we would not be able to find them anywhere. But give or take like 2 decades worth of Skyrim, and I'm just now learning this new thing, there are actually set locations where these spawn. So the structure of today, we're going to be going to find where these treasure maps spawn, how to get them, and then we're going to be tracking down their loot. The very first treasure map, Treasure Map 1, can actually be found very close to the beginning of the game, as you can see below me. Those are the Guardian Stones, which you will pass if you follow Rayloff or Hadvir out of the cave, the whole tutorial cave. But before you go down that way, you'll hit this fork in the road, and if you instead run this way just a little bit, you can look up and to the left, and you'll see this camp right here. Now for me, there were 3 bandits here guarding it. I already dispatched them so you guys wouldn't have to see, but one of them in particular, not that one, is holding Treasure Map 1. So once you get it, you can take a good look at it. And all of these treasure maps, basically, they're treasure maps, you know? They're going to show you an important location, show you various hints. You can see the roads, the bridges, and there's going to be an X on there somewhere. And there might be another image showing you exactly where the chest is. But as you can see, this one here is close to Riverwood. So let's go ahead and find it, shall we? So judging from that map, you're probably going to want to start here at the entrance to Riverwood right here, and the X was across the river in a tree stump, and that looks like a pretty big tree stump to hide something in to me. So let's start by just checking that out, shall we? It was an overturned tree stump. I want to make sure that's clear, and oh, there's the chest. Now, these things will just have random loot in them. There's nothing specific that spawns in them, but usually the loot is pretty good and can be sold for good money. I also want to point out that these chests will not spawn until you have read the treasure map. That is another issue I actually found. I spawned in the treasure maps and I read those, but this chest was actually not showing up. So you need to read the original treasure map from its exact location in the world, from what I can tell. But nonetheless, that is Treasure Map 1. Let's move on to number 2. Treasure Map 2 can be found here at the Journeyman's Nook, which is going to be located in the frozen waste / shoreline in between Winterhold and Windhelm to the northeast of Skyrim. Now, upon coming across this place, the only thing you'll have to fight here is a single bandit. You'll find the bandit and the dead body of Borvir here, assumingly killed by the bandit, but the treasure map we're looking for is not held by either. It is going to be hidden away in this knapsack behind the table. This is Treasure Map 2. And this one is a little harder to read. It doesn't have any labels, so you actually can't read it. But I would say it is a pretty well-known structure that you should know in Skyrim. Apparently, this structure is not as memorable as I thought. I actually mistook the map. I thought it was for the bridge leading to the College of Winterhold, but I was wrong. These are the Valtheim Towers, which are nearby. They're in between Whiterun and the whole like ashland that goes between Windhelm and Riften. I would still say this is a decently known location, and it's a pretty cool one of my favorite bandit locations in the game. But anyways, facing the bridge from the waterfall there, you're just gonna check out this chest here, and that is what it leads to. Yes, that was definitely in the script that I totally wrote for this. The next map is actually sort of nearby. You can see the Valtheim Towers here. If you keep following this road and then at the fork you start going up towards Windhelm, across the river, you should see the Riverside Shack here. Now this isn't a great spot for low levels. because there is a saber cat living in it, but if you think you can take it on, then you can do so. And in the chest over here, which it had an apprentice lock on it when I came up, so you'll probably have to unlock it. But once you do, you'll get Treasure Map 3. There's also a side thing here. There is a fishing map as well for the East March hold. I will be going over the fishing maps later in the episode, just to include all the maps in the episode. But all it is basically just a map of all the fishing supplies you can find in East March, one of which is right outside this shack. So this is a area to fish at if you have the fishing creation. But anyways, let's take a look at that treasure map number 3. And again, no labels. I would think this one's actually a kind of hard one to figure out, because the only thing you're really going by is it looks like there's water nearby, and then that one structure with buildings far in the background. I wonder what that could be. And what you were looking at was actually the Solitude Lighthouse here. You can see the structure there. You can see Solitude in the background. It's a lot more clear when you're actually in the location. And just like the map shows, your chest is right here on the shore in this little nook here. The next map is actually one of the few that you'll find inside an interior location of the game. This one in particular is located within Redoran's Retreat here, just west of Whiterun. And you're going to want to work your way all the way to the end of the dungeon. Don't worry, it's a really short one. It's only like 3 rooms you got to go through. And you're going to want to look into the boss chest here, which is already unlocked whenever you get here, so no lockpicking skills required. Maybe just a little eyesight to avoid the bear trap. But inside it is Treasure Map 4. So we can take a look at that and see where it's sending us. The only real hint you get here is the WR at the top and the shape of a town that looks like Whiterun. How convenient is that? So you can see that there's a mill to the south of the road there. And then it shows a more like point of view shot from the mill, showing you that it's kind of high up on the mountain ledge there. So let's go find it. So here we are just south of Whiterun. And just to this side of me, you can see the mill in question. If you're curious, this is also the exact location that the companions are killing the giant at when you first come up here. But I think this one can be a little confusing to find because it's hard to figure out the right angle that you gotta look at this mill from. But I've already scouted out where the chest is, thankfully, because if I didn't, I would be lost wandering up here, and I might still get lost. So let's go track it down, shall we? And here we go, all the way up here, right behind that tree. It's also a lot higher up than I would have thought from the picture. You can see the mill way down there, and you can just barely see Whiterun in the snowy weather. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more confusing ones to find. But here we go. For treasure map number 5, you're actually going to be headed to the Falkreath region here, and you're going to be looking for Angie's camp here up in the mountains, basically at the far south border of the map. Now, fun fact, Angie here is actually one of the survivors from Helgen, and she offers to train you on your archery here. So, other than the hunting bow, pretty much everything else here you'll have to steal. That is, except for one thing. It is not considered stealing if you search her end table. And I think that's because they didn't want you to have to steal the treasure map inside. Now this one is clearly a mountainous region with a waterfall next to it and a lot of old ruined stair structures. If you're not used to looking at this kind of thing, you might be confused. It's definitely one of the ruins in the Reach, though. Let's head that direction. The ruins in question are the Lost Valley Redoubt ruins, and they are located just on the border of the Markarth Hold the Falkreath hold, and I guess a little bit of the border from the Whiterun hold here. Now, these are also home to the famous Bard's Leap Summit, and I would implore you, it's one of my favorite locations in the game. If you come here, head to the top and just take a look from there. It is amazing. Maybe take a leap, who knows? But we aren't going there today. What we're looking for, if I can speak, is actually at the bottom of the stairs next to this big waterfall right here. There should be a treasure chest now spawning somewhere down here for us to take. It is the lower waterfall bit, and it's not underneath in the water. It's literally right behind the waterfall right here. There is our treasure. Treasure map number 6 is actually kind of difficult to find in my opinion. I don't see how you would discover this unless by complete luck or knowing exactly where it is. It's not at a set location, but it's kind of nearby a couple. I am here kind of south of Dawnstar in this mountain range here. And if you head south-southeast of the Shrine of Mehrunes Dagon, a bit west of Stonehill Bluff here, it's probably closer to here, but then you're going to have to scale around the mountain anyway. You're going to find this rocky outcropping here, and in the middle of it, you might notice some blood leading to a random dead wood elf that has Treasure Map 6 on it. Let's take a look. This is definitely some kind of Draugr ruin here, and I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. This is Corvanjund, which I'm pretty sure you get sent here during the Civil War quest line, whether you're helping the Imperials or the Stormcloaks. It is the location of the Jagged Crown, I'm pretty sure. Now, the chest on the map was located just above that central arch there. So let's skip around to the side and Skyrim our way up these rocks. And there it is. This is the Trader's Post, a random destroyed house that you can find east of Windhelm here, and it's going to be full of bandits when you first arrive. I don't think there's any specific quest that sends you here, except for maybe a Creation Club one. I somewhat remember coming here during all that content. But anyways, your treasure map is going to be located in this back room in the chest here. This did have a novice lock whenever I walked up to it the first time. But pop that and then read your map. I have no idea where this is. Apparently, this is Gallows Rock, a location just to the southeast of Windhelm here, kind of in the mountains. And now that I see this place, I do somewhat remember it. I remember grabbing this treasure map during my series on Skyrim and having some difficulties finding the actual location of the chest, but it turns out it's really easy. Here's the actual fort, and literally to the right of the entrance is your chest. Your best bet for finding the next treasure map is going to be locating Bleak Coast Cave here to the east of Winterhold, kind of along the coastline here, and then you're going to want to go south-southeast until you see a group of Horkers here doing something to those dead bodies. Don't mind me, man. I need to check this body here. It has treasure map number 8. And it is quite bloody. This looks like a mill located somewhere next to a bridge that has a dragon. Ah, yes, this is literally Dragon Bridge, a town named after the bridge that holds a dragon head. So this map is a little special because you actually have a couple of parts you need to do. The top half is clearly looking onto the opposite side of the town, on the other side of the bridge, and you can see the trees. And if you go to the base of those trees, you'll find not a treasure chest, you'll find a satchel with the Dragon Bridge chest key. This is where the second half, the bottom half of the treasure map takes place. And that's actually a completely different area. It shows it off the side of the bridge here. So feel free to do some diving. And there it is, deep in the water. And it is a master lock, so you might want to go grab that key first. God, I hate swimming in this game. But there we go. We got plenty of cool loot from that. For the next map, we arrive here at the abandoned prison located just next to the big ashy swamp area between Windhelm and the Rift. And we aren't actually going into the abandoned prison here, but there's the entrance. You're going to want to turn around and take a look at this completely destroyed house here just across the river. Oh man, no telling what happened here, but Lucky Lorenz has our treasure map number 9 on him. Guess he wasn't that lucky, am I right? Let's check out his map, shall we? This is pointing to yet another waterfall, and you can see a bridge that has a sign pointing to Riften on it. So let's go take a look at some bridges, shall we? The bridge in question is located just down there on the other side of this mountain from Riften itself, and also right next to Broken Helm Hollow. Another big hint for this is to look for the forking waterfall that you see right next to the cave entrance. But once you have it in sight, you can make your way up here and jump right over, and just like the map says, there is a chest just behind the waterfall waiting for you. Treasure map number 10 is another map that you're going to find inside an interior zone. This one is located within Stony Creek Cave on the far east side of the map here. Now, something fun about this cave, I believe it is actually the exit to a nearby Dwemer ruin, so you might stumble into this cave without even going to the cave itself at first. You're going to want to look for this offshoot room here, and you'll find this bandit here making potions and probably casting spells at you. He is the one holding treasure map number 10. And this one, you might not be able to tell, is a clear depiction of the Lady Stone. The Lady Stone itself is located in the middle of Lake Inalta or something, I don't know. It's located in the middle of this lake nearby Falkreath. And you can see the ruins depicted on the map just to the north of it, and somewhere east of those ruins is a peninsula, and the chest should be underwater near that little peninsula. I don't know if that's the right word to use for it since it's a lake, but I know in a larger body of water, that would be considered a peninsula. Anyways, ramblings aside, here is the chest you're looking for. That does it for all the numbered treasure maps in the game, but there are actually a few more that you can find that aren't numbered. The first one we're going to be finding out of these is going to be the Fort Neugrad map. And of course, it is located here at Fort Neugrad, nearby Helgen, where you start the game. You're going to want to work your way through this fort and come up to the top of the tower of the main building, and this had an apprentice level lock on it, but once you break that, you can read the map, and don't worry, it's still located here within the Fort Neugrad area. You can actually see the lake from this very tower here if you take a look towards the back, and there's the boat dock that was on the map too. So all you got to do is follow the dotted line all the way around the lake, and I think it's going to be somewhere in that area over there. Let's go check. This one was nice, quick, and easy. Only one area involved not having to travel all the way around Skyrim. I like this one. It's not actually here, though. Maybe it's a little bit further up. No? Am I dumb? Did I get the wrong thing? Maybe it's actually a bit further back this way? It shows it somewhere around this lake. I know that. I know that. There it is. Behind these rocks. And just like all the other normal maps, you just get a bunch of random treasure with it. Nothing too serious. For the next map of treasure we are hunting, you're actually going to want to do a small little miscellaneous first in order to unlock it. We are currently underneath the College of Winterhold, so you'll need access to here, and eventually you'll be going into the Midden, and even further into the Midden Dark area. If you explore it thoroughly, you're going to find this Daedric-looking gauntlet hand of sorts that'll allow you to activate various ring fingers and other fingers on it. Well, if you look around, you're going to find a investigator's key and a midden incident report. You can read through this if you want, but basically it's going to tell you to go find some rings to put on this hand here. And you can find those rings in the Arcanium, the magical yet still boring library of the College of Winterhold. You're going to be looking to the left of the room here, and you'll find this chest here, the Investigator's chest. And with your key, you won't have to pick that nasty master lock, and you get 4 different rings to go put back on that hand. Once you have the rings, you're going to make your way back down to this gauntlet hand. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just a gauntlet. And you're supposed to put a specific ring on each finger. I'm not actually too sure on how you're supposed to figure out which goes on which. I'm looking around the room now. I don't see any major hints, and I read through that book, and I didn't get any hints on what rings to put on what fingers there. But, I'm just gonna do what I did normally in my playthrough, and I looked it up. If you do know, like, what's supposed to tell you what to put these on, then let me know down in the comments, because I am curious. But anyways, starting with the index finger, we're gonna put Katarina's ring. And with the middle finger, if I can find it, it is gonna be Trioi's ring. For the ring finger, we're going to want to put Balwin's ring, and the little finger is, of course, Pithikin's ring. Now, the only thing I really notice with each of these is they have a different color stone on each of them, so that might be it. But, of course, when you're done with that, all 4 of their skulls show up and reform Velehk Sain. Velehk Sain is a Dremora pirate that I guess was sealed here below the Winterhold College, and now we have a choice to make.
I was beginning to think the day would never come. So, you broke the binding spell, did you? Matters little. Their souls are trapped in oblivion all the same. And here I stay.
You're going back where you belong, Dremora.
Where I belong is back aboard my ship on the Abyssian. You've no hope of defeating me, pup. Don't bother. Why not broker a bargain instead?
I'm listening.
Those kids are dead anyway. Killing me won't bring them back. I, on the other hand, have done quite a bit with my time on Mundus. Release me, and I'll share a bit of my wealth with you.
So yeah, your choice here is to either kill him now and get whatever he has on him, or release him, and he's going to give you a treasure map for that.
Names have power, lad. You should know by now. Just say, Velehk Sain, I release you, and poof, I'm on my way.
Velehk Sain, I release you.
There's a smart lad. Take the map. The loot's hidden there. It'll show itself when you get near. See you on the other side, mortal.
And as I said, he gives you a treasure map, Velehk Sain's. So we can read this, and just like the other ones, it's just a picture that kind of shows you where it could possibly be. It looks like it's on an island of sorts with some ruins, and I'm pretty sure I know what island that is. It is an important one in the Companion's quest line, if I got it right. I am actually completely wrong on that. It is a different island north of the Skyrim land. This one is kind of northwest of Winterhold, kind of more west, I guess, but it's this big one here. And you'll tell it's the right island because it has a statue of none other than Talos on top of it. And looking at it, you can also see the statue of Azura way off in the distance on that mountain. But we're going to come right around here to the coast side, and as you get close, Velehk Sain's treasure appears, and it is more than just a single chest. You get a big boss chest, a small one right next to it. You get some statues and coin purses, a bunch of gems, and of course some gold ingots to go along with it, and even an enchanted weapon or two. Quite the bit of treasure this guy has amassed. This next and final treasure hunt takes place all in the Dragonborn DLC, and to start it, you're going to need to read a little book. This book can be found in many places, but I think the easiest place would be the Retching Netch, the inn located at Raven Rock. When you first get there, you're going to go down to the lower floor, and in this first room to the right, you will find the Deathbrand book sitting on it. You don't got to read the whole thing, you just got to open it up, and that should have given me the quest objective, but it did not. That's because apparently you need to be level 36 minimum for this quest to pop up, and I have remedied that, so let's try reading it now. There we go. Now we have a miscellaneous quest to search for the treasure of Haknir Deathbrand. Once you have that miscellaneous objective, you're going to want to head all the way to the northern part of the island of Solstheim, and you'll come across a little island known as Haknir Shoal. You'll see 3 pirates here, but you're interested in killing the captain, because the captain has the Deathbrand Treasure Map on him. Now, I actually came here earlier, before trying to read the book, to try and just jump straight to getting the map. But I guess since I wasn't level 36, he didn't have the map on him. So you might not even need to read the book. You might be able to come straight here and get the map yourself. I'm not actually sure. But this map works a little bit differently than the other ones. As you can see, it's not in the books section. It is at actually a miscellaneous item. And you can't open it up. You just see it here on the right side of the screen. It has 4 X's for you to go to all around Solstheim, the first of which is located here at this treasure chest right here that they have dug up. Another fun thing, this treasure chest is not dug up like this until you are either level 36 or already have the quest, because this was not here the first time I came here. There was also a master lock on it. I went ahead and dispelled that, and inside is the Deathbrand Helm, a unique piece of light armor that is Stalrim. It gives you water breathing and plus 100 armor when you're wearing a complete set of Deathbrand armor. And that's going to be the focus of this treasure hunt. You're basically journeying all around Solstheim to get the famous, the infamous Deathbrand armor of Haknir. So let's get the rest, shall we? Another piece of the armor is going to be located in between Tel Mithrin and the river to the west here. You're going to find this spot here with the chest undug right by the wall. And there are going to be 3 ash spawn wandering around it. I have already dispatched them. You can pick your way into the chest. You saw there it was an expert level lock. And you can get the Deathbrand boots. These increase your carrying capacity by 10 for each Deathbrand item you wear. The next item is going to be located just down the coast here from Raven Rock and the Earthstone. You'll wander up and you're going to see a small group of trees here, some netches over there, and a couple of reavers surrounding the chest itself. This one had an adept locker on it, so I guess the locks are getting a little bit easier as I go. It is the Deathbrand armor. It increases your stamina by 15 for each Deathbrand item you wear. I think I'm starting to see a trend with the abilities on these armor pieces. The final piece of armor is going to be located up the coast a bit further than that. I find the best way, if you have Bristleback Cave discovered, just head south from there, and eventually you'll find this little tide pool here with a bunch of mud crabs in it. I also found a group of Reeklings here as well. I've dealt with them all, and the chest is right in front of me here. Another Adept Lock. And inside it is the Deathbrand Gauntlets. Now also, you can get any of these chests in any order, but the last one you open up will always have the Gilden Hull Barrow key in it. And that is because there is not just armor for us to hunt down. This is a pirate we're talking about. He has a ton of treasure for us to get to, so let's go find that barrow. Once you arrive at Gilden Hull Barrow, it is located in the top right of the map, sort of nearby Hacknir Shoal where we were already at. You'll come to just a room with no other way through, and you can read the note on this dead adventurer's body. And long story short, he'll say that he noticed a draft coming from one of the Stalrim deposits in the room. So you're going to need an ancient Nordic pickaxe at this point in order to get rid of this Stalrim deposit right here. But venturing through at that point, you can use your key on this door, and you can find all of this treasure here. You can, of course, pick up the piles of gold. I believe there are a total of 80 piles for you to collect, which all give you varying amounts, usually between 80 and 120 gold. So you definitely get your money's worth from doing this quest. There's also all the potions on the ground, and there's some various soul gems, and so much treasure you can grab here overall. But what we're looking for is beyond that tunnel, further into the crypts. All the way at the back of this room here, we can find Hacknir Deathbrand himself laying next to the Blood Scythe, one of his 2 fearsome weapons that he used. Of course, if you want the other one, you're gonna have to survive after that. After you have finished off the ghostly crew of Hacknir Deathbrand and he himself, you can search his ghostly remains and obtain Soul Render. This is a sword he used in conjunction with the Blood Scythe, and its effect is when it's wielded with Blood Scythe, it absorbs 15 magicka and has a chance to dispel magicka defenses. Blood Scythe also, when wielded with Soul Render, absorbs 15 health and has a chance to weaken enemy armor. So yeah, all of these armor pieces are very much designed for you to wear all together in one big set. And when you do so, it is actually one of the best armor sets, best light armor sets you can get in the game. And it doesn't look bad either. I think it just kind of looks like default Stalrim armor, but Stalrim armor looks kind of cool. So who really cares, right? But yeah, that's all that treasure hunt is, just a big pirate hunt for a legendary pirate's armor and weapons, and that's going to be the last hunt we have for the day. So thank you all for watching. Next time, I think we're going to take a step back from adventuring, and we're going to use all this treasure we got in order to buy some housing all around the land of Skyrim. We're going to go over player homes. Thank you, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.